Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you're watching this from. I'm David Thomas from Profound Knowledge Partners Asia. Recently, a client came to me excitedly telling me that she'd discovered a software package that would improve the work scheduling in her clinic, and hence efficiency. Her only concern was the cost. It was much more expensive than she had clearance to spend in her budget. As a business coach, my first question to her was, how do you know this will work? My second question was, is there any way to test the idea on a small scale? She asked why, and I asked her back, what are the upsides to this solution as you see them? When she had responded, I followed up with, what are the potential downsides of it? As we brainstormed all of the potential consequences if this went wrong, she lost her initial enthusiasm. We discussed the fact that even if the software could technically do what she wanted, it may not actually lead to the improvement she was hoping for, because there were many more issues than just a scheduling tool involved. But rather than leave her deflated, I went on to ask her 3 sets of questions. What are you trying to accomplish here with this idea? Let's describe the improvement you want to see. Once we'd defined that, I went on to the next question set. How will you know that any changes you make will be an improvement? What measures and data would tell you that things have gotten better and that the problem is not just shifted elsewhere? And do you have the systems to gather the data you want? After talking further and coming up with a few ideas around measures and goals, we moved on to the third question set. You had the idea around this app for scheduling the work. What other ideas do you have that might improve the efficiency of the way your team works? Are there any alternatives? We generated a list of ideas, and I went on to ask, why do you think such changes might work? How quickly can we go about testing these ideas? Who has the right subject matter knowledge to be involved in those tests? And how will you make decisions about which ideas might be best to take forward and implement? In a short time, we'd established a course of action to quickly determine A, if the software she had looked at might be the best option, or whether alternatives might prove more effective, and B, what else, aside from installing a piece of IT, might contribute to the organization's work efficiency. In a very practical way, we'd started to apply the model for improvement to her business problem, and had begun to help her come up with a plan of action that would reduce the risk of failure and hence the likelihood of success in investing to improve the working efficiency of the business. Let's talk more about the model for improvement. So what is the model for improvement? It's a framework that takes the scientific method and applies it to improvement project management. It's widely used in healthcare and has been adopted globally by the Institute for Healthcare Improvement, along with other sectors such as electronics manufacturing and distribution, many other types of manufacturing, service industries, and process industries. Within many of these industries, failure, including failure to innovate, can be fatal. The model for improvement was developed by associates in process improvement in the early 1990s, based on the previous work of Dr. W. Edwards Deming and Walter A. Schuhart. It was published in 1996 in API's seminal book, The Improvement Guide, a practical approach to enhancing organizational performance, which is now in its 3rd edition. The model for improvement brings together 2 important parts. The first part includes 3 guiding questions that direct the project and provide clarity to both the sponsors and the project team. The first question is, what are we trying to accomplish? This sets the objective for the project, basically what outcome you want. In the example I mentioned earlier, the clinic manager outlined that they wanted to make better use of clinic resources, both staff and equipment, with less empty slots as well as fewer scheduling conflicts in the daily calendar. The second question is, how will we know a change is an improvement? This establishes the data and measures that will need to be collected as evidence that the changes being made are actually resulting in improvement. Such measures typically include outcome measures, process measures, and balancing measures. In the case of the clinic, we defined measures around doctor, room, and equipment usage, as well as client and staff satisfaction, and the number of cross-clinic referrals, along with some financial measures including return on investment. And the third question in the model for improvement is, what changes can we make that will result in an improvement? This prompts us to tabulate and maintain a list of ideas that we can experiment with in order to determine if they truly make things better as we predict, or otherwise. We use the measures defined in the second question to prove the effectiveness of those ideas. The ideas then lead on to trial and learning in the second part of the model. In the case of the clinic, we discuss suggestions around rostering, opening times, providing more visibility to vacant slots for clients, and exploring a number of alternative IT solutions. Rather than making the decision herself, the clinic manager decided to pull together a small team of subject matter experts, that is, those currently involved in the work, to run the project and determine what solutions really were the most effective. She set out her expectations in the form of a project charter, which she wrote together with the project team, and agreed they would review progress with her on a weekly basis. With the project direction established, the second part of the model for improvement is running the trial and learning part, PDSA cycles. These are founded on the scientific method as it applies to business, forming a hypothesis, planning an experiment to test that hypothesis, conducting the experiment and observing what happens, reviewing the results and comparing them with your initial hypothesis, and then taking action based on what you have learned. I'll go into more details on the PDSA cycles in our next video. In the case of our client, she and her team now had a plan of action and could start some rapid tests to determine what solutions might be most effective to improve the clinic's efficiency. As improvement scientists, business coaches, and consultants specializing in strategy, innovation, and change, we'd love to explore your challenges and help you to build solutions to navigate your organization's critical transitions. If you'd like to learn more about the model for improvement, email or message us today, or check out the Improvement Guide book. You'll find the links in the description below. Over time, we'll continue to explore growth transition challenges in this channel. Check out our other videos, and if you're interested to learn more, hit the subscribe button and leave a thumbs up below. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.